5, 5, 7, 2, 1.
I thought what I'd do was, I'd pretend I was one of those death mutes. That way I wouldn't have to have any goddamn stupid, useless conversations with anybody.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
I was raised to believe that being different is what set me apart from others. It's what made me special, unique, and that being unique was a good thing. It meant I wasn't following the trends and paths set forth by mainstream life. I used to believe that it made me important, that I was destined to do something important in life, to do something that changed the world. I was naive to think that that's what qualified me for such an endeavor. I had to achieve that on my own. But being different meant nothing. I used to think that society would reject difference and dissonance, but now it coddles those whom are special, unique, and different, and expands its definition like most things, and considers all people unique, different, special, little individual snowflakes. And the biggest culprit of this is the community that frequents the blogs known as Tumblr. In today's day and age, Tumblr leaves a bad taste in the mouth, and for good reason. They are guilty of many crimes against nature, and against fellow man, and the world, maybe even the universe. I will go over many of them soon, but one of them that I'm mostly going to speak of is how they have segmented their pseudo-society into categories. They are constantly creating genders, sexualities, and these conceptions of polyromantic preconceptions. I might suspect this is some sort of piss-poor attempt to make the constant shipping of fictional characters they do make some sort of sense in an absurd way. But no, it's more than that. What they don't realize is that by making all these genders, all these sexualities, social titles, factions, archetypes, they are separating themselves. They think that by making themselves more unique and standing out as these special little snowflakes with the name that they've given themselves, they've done this and they've solidified their importance in the world in their own delusion. They think they've united themselves under a flawed equality, when what they really are doing is making more labels and separating everyone into pecking orders, caste systems, and factionary mimetic zeitgeists. They are dividing themselves. There are some of these things that don't need to be, like gray A, an asexual that feels aroused sometimes. That's not a sexuality. that's a low sex drive. But it needs to have a sexuality, 'cause it's something they can claim to be, to feel special, and throw at someone when they're being objectified. And when there's things like 5+ gender, someone who's 5 or more genders, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, we aren't mushrooms with billions of genders. Quit being such a greedy little shit. I think a lot of the Tumblrists have never heard the phrase, you take what you get and you don't throw a fit. Besides all this, they are growing strong. They have pull. They have a majority. They have an advantage. They are one of the biggest problems in our world. We cannot take them for granted, but we can blame them for most of the problems that we have today. And we cannot blame the government for all of our problems without first looking at the damage that we are causing ourselves. This is the overly dramatic truth that humanity must learn, and I will teach them. The Tumblrists and all radicalists are the biggest reason why we will never have nice things. The biggest reason I'm a misanthrope. The biggest reason I'm a cynic. The biggest reason I'm a social Darwinist. And the biggest reason that I no longer have hope for mankind. Even if Tumblr were to die, or Reddit, or any of the festering social poisoning breeding grounds that these people frequent, they'd find some way to survive. They have numbers, they are malignant. They are slowly corrupting the media like a cancer and poisoning society. I always thought that the world would end demoralization with chaos in the streets. Now I know it'll end in ultra-moralization, with so many morals, laws, and societal concepts that nobody can do anything without perfect consent, and consent can be revoked at any time by a woman. And it will still be, and always will be, the man's fault. A world where not all people can be insulted, but only women can be a victim. Rape will be punishable by death, and they'll find some way to destroy the person's consciousness, I know it. And may even kill their family too, as it's a cosmic crime in their eyes. And of course they'll expand the definition of what rape is. If you have sex with a woman and she didn't enjoy it, she can take back consent and say it's rape. The men will be reduced to roughly 5 to 10% and used for reproduction and labor. The labor men being eunuchs, having their balls cut off. And if you don't know about this, you should probably look at the Femtheist.
Hey everyone, my name is Krista, otherwise known as the Femithius. Some of you may know me from my YouTube account, some of you may know me from my blog, and for some of you this may be the first time you're ever hearing my name at all. Regardless, I'm here to let all of you know, my allies and adversaries alike, that myself, my friends, and my followers are here to reboot the new era of feminism. I'm the overseer of this movement, and I will also be coordinating the events. This time, our movement is about more than just words, it's about actions, about making a difference and redefining the world. It is a proposed global initiative for population reduction, which will, in a few decades, lead to a worldwide male population of roughly 1 to 10% for the purpose of peace and prosperity around the world. This population reduction is the only logical long-term solution. Our plan is one of pacification and submission, and many of these short-term solutions are already underway in the Western world, so we are confident in our ambitions. We will be teaming up with members of the well-known organization RAD Film Hub. This time, we will not allow ourselves to be distracted or hindered by groups like the men's right movement and the mainstream feminists. They are no concern to us, and they will not stand in our way. So to all the people out there who disagree, Paul Elam, John the other, girl writes what, their friends and followers, you can't stop us, and you will not define us, so don't even waste your time. After this week, you will all see an immense increase in the number of supporters and followers for this movement, and I personally can assure you of that. I know for a fact it will happen. We'll also be laying out more specific plans and meeting with our members and affiliated allies in the coming weeks and months. Stay tuned and be aware.
Yeah, that's real. All their bullshit genders, sexualities, the otherkin, Therians, transracials, will be accepted as legal and recognized by the government. Doing things like calling a person the wrong pronoun will be considered a hate crime, punishable by death or torture. Cis sexuality will be shunned, shamed, and hated, being called derogatory terms such as normies and breeders. The definition of rape, post-traumatic stress disorder, hate crime, discrimination, and torture will all be expanded to fit their bullshit criteria. Example, cyberbullying will be considered something that can cause PTSD and will also be considered a hate crime. Things like fart rape, if you don't know what that is, you should Google it, and it's a very real thing, will be punishable by death. Father's Day will be abolished and seen as a symbol of misogyny. Mother's Day will be a day where it's mandatory for men to be slaves to mothers for that day, etc. infinitum. This is a world that I cannot live in, and I will stop it. I have to stop it. Because if this happens, the world as we know it will end. I can't let this world happen. You cannot let this world happen. And there's a way to stop it. And here's how.
Look, I was going to go easy on you, not to hurt your feelings. But I'm only going to get this one chance. Something's wrong, I can feel it. It's just a feeling I've got. Like something's about to happen. But I don't know what. If that means what I think it means, we're in trouble. Big trouble. And if he is bananas, as you say, I'm not taking any chances. You're just what the die.
1 0 1 1 1 0